It's Tegan Whitco, your Monday host of the SportsCage, alongside Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, and of course Curtis, the producer, helping us out here. Joining us now, however, on the Western Pizza guest hotline, this is Megan LeBlanc. Now, she is a co-founder of the Saskatchewan Senior Women's Hockey League into its inaugural season. Man, that's got to feel pretty good to say out loud, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been quite the ride getting here, but it's been good, and Jenna and I are pretty proud of it.
Yeah. Jenna, obviously another co-founder. Maybe tell us a little bit about how you two got connected and this whole thing sort of came together.
Yeah, well, we grew up kind of always playing hockey against each other. I lived in Estevan and she's from Regina, so we were always kind of rivals. And then as time went on, we both went away and played university, or she stayed in Regina to play. And then we kind of aged out of that era of hockey and then had nowhere to play, and we found ourselves in the rec leagues around here, and yeah, we just kind of got talking, and from there we decided to make something happen.
With the increased popularity of the PWHL, I imagine that's definitely helped drive some interest in this first season, hey?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ever since the PWHL has taken off, it's, women's hockey has been a talk now, and it's a lot more popular and people are watching it. And yeah, even just like listening in the little kids, little kids are talking about their favorite PWHL players. And yeah, it's something that we never had when we were young. So it's cool to see how women's hockey has evolved.
So walk us through some of the challenges that you two faced when you started launching a brand new league. That's a pretty massive undertaking. So what were some of the challenges that you guys were able to overcome?
Well, in the beginning, we talked about potentially sanctioning, and that didn't really work out, and we didn't really feel I didn't really feel the support was there that I needed to make this league successful. So in the long run, we just decided it'd be better to just do it ourselves and kind of see what happens. And honestly, we thought it would start off smaller, and within the span of 2 months we went from about 20 people to 400 people. So there's 400 people involved in the league now. So
that's incredible to be able to see that amount of people come together and pull this thing off so quickly. How did you guys go about selecting the markets in which you would have a team for this league?
Yeah, so we sent a form around the province and just kind of put a feeler out there to see who would all be, interested in playing. And now there's so many girls that have moved back from playing university or college hockey, and there's nowhere to go. Like once you're done, and it's rough when you move home after giving your whole life to a sport, and then all of a sudden you're just done, and you come home and everyone's boyfriends and husbands, they're all playing senior hockey still, and then we all just get to go and watch the boys play. So it just, we had our own groups of friends that were all feeling this way and feeling like there was a hole in women's hockey and there was something that needed to be filled, and there was definitely a huge gap that was missed. So with that motivation and our own groups of friends around the provinces and everyone that you kind of met growing up playing in Saskatchewan and even Alberta and Manitoba, and then with sending the form around, we figured there's a lot of people that filled out the form that we didn't even know that were, they were feeling it in the same capacity as us, but they were, 9 hours up north, or people we didn't even know filled it out. So it's definitely, the form reached areas, and we realized we're like, wow, we're not the only ones feeling this. There's a lot of girls that don't have the opportunity to play competitively right now.
So 11 teams are on the ice right now. Is that exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, originally we were just going to start and see, anything is better than nothing. The alternative is literally nothing. So we were happy just to even have a few teams. And then we had 10 right off the bat. Right after we did the forums, we're like, oh, wow, we have 10. And then, there was another team that kind of reached out later on. There was a group of girls that kind of missed the ball right off the bat. And then they're like, oh, wow, this league's actually legit, we want to join. So we ended up with 11, and yeah, I would say it's exceeded our expectations for the first year by far. And even just the caliber of hockey, it's pretty good.
So you've the season has already started. Obviously there were games this past weekend, more coming up this weekend. What does a season look like for team as far as the number of games you're going to get, how many practices these players are going to get on the ice?
Yeah, so senior hockey, everyone's teams are kind of different depending on your situation. Some teams practice every week. Some teams don't practice at all. It's kind of, to each their own with the teams. I think everyone does, a few practices here and there for sure. Mostly everyone plays 12 games. Some of the teams that are located a little bit farther of a drive. Just with how spread out Saskatchewan is, there's, some teams, if it's a long ways and they're kind of out of the way, then they play less games, and we go off of win percentage for the first year. Our goal for the first year was just to make it happen where everyone has enough people to play and, just kind of get our bearings and see where women's hockey is at in Saskatchewan. And then, we have big plans to kind of clean up a lot of the things for next year.
You mentioned a lot of the players have post-secondary experience for the Sask Senior Women's Hockey League. What is the caliber of play, and what's the competitive level at?
Yeah, so it's, there's a lot of girls in our league that have played, definitely represented the province, and there's some that have even represented Canada. So everyone's a little bit older, but there's lots of Division I, U Sport, ACAC. There's a little bit of everything. There's some girls that have played, down in the States, some girls that have played. We have every level. Some played nothing. What I think is cool is there's some girls in our league that are, 39, 40 years old, and they didn't have those opportunities when they were younger. So they never had the opportunity to go play university. These teams didn't even have teams then. And same with, some girls, they didn't play AA or AAA because it literally didn't exist when they were kids. And now, but they kept on, just playing rec or whatever. And now the opportunity's here, and they've come full on out of retirement. There's girls that are 40 and that have had 5 kids, and they're playing and they're killing it.
So what's the reception been like at the community level, right? Because this is very new for a lot of different communities, and you go down that list of 11 teams, right? There's some communities that may not have a lot of hockey, barring minor hockey, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the community support has been great, and that's honestly what makes it all possible. I know just my team is Southeast Saints, and we're based out of Mydale, Saskatchewan, and just it's awesome. Everyone comes out to watch, and it's just such a great. It's so good to be able to base these teams in the smaller towns, the smaller rinks, the smaller communities. I don't know. We've had nothing but success with all of where we've placed all these teams. It's been really good. I don't know if anyone's really gone into, bigger cities, but I think kind of senior hockey, even for the men, is always based out of smaller towns for the most part.
Any rivalries that have been born in this league's very young life?
Honestly, everyone's a rival at this point. It is though. It's, everyone, you don't really know what to expect when you start something from the ground up. We literally started this off of nothing, and nobody knew what to expect. We're oh, are these games going to be blowout games? Is one team going to be? And for the most part, all the games have been very close. It's gone to overtime. It's competitive. It's pretty evenly matched for the most part. We were pleasantly surprised with the level of competitiveness. We have almost made it too competitive.
Well, and you talk about the success in its first year and how many teams you have. You weren't necessarily expecting that. What do you see for growth? Maybe the next 5-10 years? Where can this thing go?
There's a lot of angles that we're considering to move into, whether that be, there's a few ideas, but we're not 100% sure on which way we're going to go. At the end of the year, we'll have a big meeting, and we'll, kind of look at it from a bunch of different angles to see where this league can end up. But it's almost every day where someone comes out and, reaches out to one of us with an idea or an opportunity, and we're just blown away by all the support, and we're really starting to see that the sky actually is the limit with this, and we can take it. It's just you can't even think of where it could go because there's so many ideas at this point. So lots more to come next year for sure.
You can feel that pride.
Yeah.
We're talking through the screen here, but I can certainly sense that you guys are invested. This is something that you really, really take seriously. But I'm curious for yourself personally, Megan, how do you balance being a co-founder of a brand new inaugural league? It's an inaugural season, pardon me. But as an organizer, as an active player, how do you find that balance between doing it all?
when you're passionate about it, you just make it work. You just figure it out. But I think it's always been about more than just giving myself the opportunity to play again. It's about leaving the game better than you found it. So, you know, it's then the next generations. With my job, I'm very fortunate where I get to work with a lot of younger generation hockey players, and I'm doing this so that they also don't have to go through what a lot of us went through. And I think this whole league kind of came from a place of hurt, to be honest, where you give your whole life to a sport and you're like fed this, like, one big happy family. You're in the hockey world and it's great. And it's great. It gives you such good opportunities your whole life. You learn so much playing team sports. But then all of a sudden it's done and you're just, where do you go? And then you come home and the boys all get to keep playing and you don't. So if you've given your whole life to something and then all of a sudden it's just gone, like that, it kind of changes your identity. Like you don't even know who you are for a minute after that. So I think most of the people in this league experienced that and went through that. So I think that's a big, motivation for it is, we want the next generation to not have to ever feel that, I guess.
A friend of mine went and played hockey NCAA after going ahead and playing an exhausting junior eligibility, and then came back to the province 5 years later, was asked to play senior hockey. And I'll never forget, he said, I just don't know how to approach this because, do I back check hard or not? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So he said, very quickly, I learned that eating a bowl of Doritos on the way to a hockey game probably wasn't going to be the best for senior hockey because it's a great caliber of play. Same thing in your league?
Yes, very much so. It's very, very competitive. I think the caliber was honestly a little bit higher than what everyone kind of expected. So the first game, it took everyone a minute to be like, oh, wow, everyone's actually good. We got something here. It's just, just because you haven't played for a while, I guess it just takes you a couple games to get the rust off and then you're good to go.
And I know you've got a proud sponsor of the champions this year with a brand new cup, right?
The Steffes Cup, yep. So we're the SSWHL presented by Steffes Auctioneers. So we're very, very, fortunate to have worked out that deal. And we went up and Jenna and I met with them at Agribition last week, or is that 2 weeks ago now? And it all worked out, and they're, an awesome company, and they're stepping up to help women's hockey. And we're all going to be competing for the Steffes Cup now.
Very cool. Very cool.
The season wraps up end of January?
Yeah, give or take around there, and then playoffs.
Okay. All right. So we got some hockey to take us into February. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'll be conversations for next year too, of how many games we'll be playing for, a regular season. I'm assuming we'll be playing more games. This year we went with 12, but I think next year we'll be looking closer to at least 16, but that'll be a conversation for after.
Get through the first season and then start talking about next year, right? One thing at a time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Megan LeBlanc, of course, co-founder of the SSWHL. Really appreciate the time today, Megan.
Thanks for having me.